Did you just sit on our cookies?
Cookies in quarantine. Both start with a K, both are making me fat, but only one of them are tasty. So let's get started. And these aren't my cookies, but they sure look tasty. So let's start with the dry ingredients. This recipe calls for 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of brown sugar packed. You can use either light brown sugar or dark brown sugar. I just use dark brown sugar because that's what I had in my pantry. 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. You can use sugar cubes if you're feeling really adventurous and you know how to measure cubes into 1/2 cup. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt to taste. You might want to adjust the salt depending on how salty you like your cookies. I like my cookies pretty much like my personality, so a good amount of salt. 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. Make sure it's unsalted so you can adjust for salt later. Might seem like a lot because it's a stick of butter, but who cares, you're in quarantine. 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. I accidentally bought this Mexican vanilla blend, which isn't as good, but it'll have to do. You can do better though. Of semi-sweet chocolate chips. If you want to be fancy, you can also get a really nice chocolate semi-sweet bar and break it into bits. The Nestle Tool House chocolate chips are just easier, so that's what I went with. 1 beautiful brown whole egg. It could also be a white egg or any other color egg of your choice. So first we're going to combine our dry ingredients together. We're going to start with 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Just a little more, just a little more. When you realize you don't have enough all-purpose flour, grab a new bag and top it off and make sure not to overflow it. Now go ahead and try to pour the excess off back into the bag and make sure you don't spill. Next, we're going to add a nice level 1/2 of your baking soda, also useful for deodorizing the fridge. Next, you're going to want to measure a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and add that to the rest of the dry ingredients. Last but not least, you're going to want to add about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Now you're going to want to grab a fork or a whisk or anything that can stir and incorporate all the dry ingredients together. Next, we're going to add butter, sugar, and friends. Starting with 1/2 cup of unsalted room temperature butter, to which you're going to want to add 1/2 cup of light or dark brown packed sugar. I only had dark, so that's what I used. If your sugar is hard as a rock, massage it like you would your feelings. Make sure to really pack it down. And then you're going to want to add 1/2 cup of regular white granulated sugar and just dump that right in. You're going to want to grab your favorite mixing tool. I have a chopstick here, but I definitely recommend a hand mixer. It makes the job a lot easier. Okay, this chopstick just isn't cutting it. I'm going to grab a fork. So the goal is to get the butter and the sugar into a nice frothy texture, and you want to keep stirring. Okay, take a break because you have a cramp. Okay, keep stirring until you get a nice paste. You can do better than me, but something like this. Next, you're going to add our beautiful brown egg to our butter and sugar mixture, and add to that 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Give that a nice stir for a couple minutes until all the ingredients are fully combined. It should really smell pretty good at this point. Okay, take another break because you got another cramp from stirring without a hand mixer. You're going to want to keep stirring until you get a nice, rich, creamy texture. This is the best workout I've had while in quarantine. Once everything's nice and fluffy, it's time to add this mixture to our dry mixture that we prepared earlier. Scoop about 1/2 of the butter sugar mixture into the flour mixture and stir until incorporated. Add the remaining butter sugar mixture and go ahead and keep stirring. So keep stirring, but you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to overwork the dough. You just want to keep stirring until the flour has absorbed all of the wet mixture. It should look something like this. Next, add about 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate bits. You can use any chocolate you want, but I think semi-sweet works the best here, otherwise you get really sweet cookies. And here's a little bit extra. Now go ahead and fold the chocolate chips into the dough until they're evenly dispersed. No one likes a chocolate chipless cookie. Next, grab a foil-lined baking tray and spray it with non-stick cooking spray. Next, taste the dough to make sure everything's ready to go. You deserve it. Grab an ice cream scooper, or if you're like me and not there in your life, a spoon. Now it's time to assemble. Form 10 to 12 evenly sized balls and place them on your foiled cookie sheet. These babies are going to spread out, so try to give them some space. Place the spoils of your hard work into an oven that's been preheated to 375 degrees. Set your timer to 8 minutes. Twiddle all your non-thumbs and do a little dance. Once the tops of the cookies start to brown, it's time to take them out. And voila, here we go, homemade cookies. They smell amazing. Now we're gonna wanna let them rest for 2 minutes before we try to eat them so they can set. After the 2 minutes is up, it's time to take them off the sheet. You can put them in a cookie jar if you have one, or like me, you could just put it on a white paper plate. And finally, it's time to dig in. And these things really are worth all the hand mixing. They have a really nice golden brown crunchy bottom, but the rest of the cookie's nice and chewy and moist. The salt really balances out the sweetness of the chocolate, and you can also taste the vanilla in the cookie as well. Okay, so the cookies just came out of the oven. How do they smell?
Really good.
So here, look at the cookies. These are fine. They've been resting a little bit.
Panko.
Panko. Excuse me. Panko.
Panko.
All right, so we're gonna try the cookie. So they're like very fragrant, buttery.
What's in them?
Pretty simple recipe, honestly. Not that much harder than if we made like Nestle Tool House, but these are a lot more satisfying. So we're gonna see how they go.
Which piece should I try?
They should be all be pretty similar.
I want this one.
They're really fragrant.
Oh no.
Nice like golden brown on the bottom. Not overcooked. I don't really like when chocolate chip cookies are too overdone because it turns out into like a cracker, and I kind of like the little chewy.
Yeah,
all right, let's try it. Cheers. It's like chewy, but a little bit crispy on the bottom. A little bit of salt. You taste the salt? The salt really balances nicely with the sweetness of the chocolate and the cookie. Pretty moist.
You got the texture perfect.
You know what this needs?
Milk?
Yeah.
I don't like milk.
Trust me, try it. All right, I only got one glass. Damn, this shit makes you a little thirsty, you know? Here, you should do the thing where you actually dip it in the milk. So you get the milk, and then you just, you take the cookie, and then you just dip it right in. Honestly, the milk dipping is not that good, but try. It's nice to drink the milk actually, kind of like balances out the richness and sweetness of the cookie. What do you think?
Really good.
Is it better or worse than like a Chips Ahoy?
Oh, much better.
What about like a Chips Ahoy Chewy? Those are pretty good.
No, this is better.
And honestly, like you saw, there's only like maybe 6-7 ingredients.
Really?
Which is almost the same effort as if you like just buy Nestle, but these ones are way better.
How much butter is in here?
But I let it come up to room temperature before I put it in, and that makes it healthier.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It does.
It's the same amount of butter though.
Honestly, cookies are really nice. I don't really like cookies that much. No, we don't really eat that many cookies.
No, you've never made cookies before.
But there is something like actually very like, I don't know, homey or comforting about it. And it makes your whole place smell really good.
It's like your childhood?
Yeah, it's like my childhood.
Well, my mom never made me cookies like that.
Actually, mine either. But my neighbor would bring them over, and that was always good. And my favorite kind of cookies is just like the regular chocolate chip ones, like the OG chocolate chip. All right, so 1 out of 10, what do you give it?
8.
Oh, shit, that's harsh.
What?
I'd give it like a, well, I mean, are we doing it on a cookie? No, is it, we gotta clearly.
Oh, on a cookie
on a cookie scale, so it can't just be compared to like all the best food you've ever had. So on a cookie scale, 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I haven't had very many cookies, so I don't know, like, what a bomb cookie is, but this is pretty good.
What's the best cookie you've ever had? No, it's not, you liar.
Well, I don't really like cookies to begin with.
But it's a pretty good cookie.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think? 1 out of 10. 1 to 10. Cookie scale.
Just
cookie scale.
cookies?
Yeah, exclude all the other non-cookie.
So like, what would like a Chips Ahoy be?
I think a Chips Ahoy, like, well, regular or chewy?
Chewy.
I'd give a chewy like a 5, and then a regular one probably a 4, but I like the chewiness. Maybe like an Oreo is like a 6.
An Oreo's a 6?
I like Oreos better than Chips Ahoy.
Well, I do too, but then that's your cookie.
How about like a good macaron? I get like a really good, like you're in Paris and you eat like one of those really fancy macarons. That's like a 9.5.
This is like a 9 then.
Pretty good, a 9 out of 10. I give it like a 8. 8 out of 10.
Why'd you say that I was being harsh then when I give it an 8?
I hold myself to higher standards. But anyway, I would say Operation Cookie was successful. It's kind of fun baking. Although please, 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 if you do this, get a hand mixer because my forearms were literally cramping.
Really?
Yeah, you have to whip the butter. And so like I wanted to get one of the hand mixers to like do it for me, but I was just using a fork going like this. That's Panko approved.
I think it's down there.
Panko, oh no, you gotta hold Panko. Panko approved cookie.
Don't give him any.
He's not gonna get any, it's bad for him, it has chocolate.
Wait, did you get the thumbnail?
Yeah, I got a good one. So anyway, it was fun making this. Honestly, like this, we shouldn't eat stuff like this because since we've been in quarantine, I'd say we've been eating too much stuff like this. Yeah. And she was saying like, we're eating like, when I cook, so when she cooks it's really clean and light. And then when I cook, I use a lot of dairy and like butter. So case in point, cookies. And we realized we've both been gaining some weight while we're in quarantine.
Well, I don't know if I gained weight, but I just feel...
I'm getting fatter, that's for sure. Put on the LBs, you know? If weight was wealth, I'd be like, not rich, but pretty well off. So I'm gonna try to cook some more healthy things, I think. But it was fun baking. I never really bake yet, but do I ever bake?
Well, you've been trying to bake bread these days.
I've been trying to bake bread, but bread is really tough. I might try to make a video about that. I don't really bake, but it was fun baking these cookies today. And they turned out pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I give it like an 8, so I think, then you give it a 9, which is very generous. But I think that means it's a success. Panko wants some. And honestly, they're pretty satisfying, but definitely need a glass of milk or something, or like if you want like some cool stuff, you can drink like oat milk.
I like the saltiness.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of balance to it, it's not just straight. So.
It's not super sweet.
Not bad, it's really pretty good.
It is. Have
like
you made this before?
No. I've never made chocolate, well I've never made homemade chocolate food. I made like the break and bakes, because those are pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're really easy.
Wow.
But at least the texture is good.
First time you made it from scratch?
It's not dry.
Okay.
But not a bad cookie.
Panko, you really can't eat this. He can't eat this. Panko,
That's like a good crumb.
He drooled all over your t-shirt, by the way.
So Panko just drooled all over me? He really wants a cookie.
Too. I'm sorry, Panko. It has chocolate.
No cookie for you, Panko.
Sorry, it has chocolate.
I can give you a dog cookie.
We'll only give him a biscuit.
He doesn't want a biscuit, he wants a human biscuit.
No, he wants, give him this bacon
Should we let him choose which one he wants?
Yeah, he's gonna choose bacon biscuit, for
Panko.
sure.
Over this?
Yeah.
No, you want
Yeah,
that?
yeah, for sure.
Alright, tell him to chill. Okay.
Panko, up.
Sit.
Sit.
Okay, so.
Wait, Panko, back up.
We got a piece of cookie over here and a dog bacon biscuit. Now this cookie's safe for all you fucking haters. There's no chocolate in it, blah, 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 no toxicity. So we're gonna let the dog choose which one he wants. Okay,
I am betting that he's gonna go for doggy biscuit.
Biscuit, cookie, biscuit, cookie.
You think he's gonna get the cookie?
I think he's, oh shit, he's nudging me. I think he's gonna go human cookie, but he might try to go dog
You're not
cookie.
in the frame.
We might, okay, Panko.
Okay, ready?
All right, babe, back him up. Okay, now we're gonna put it on the table. So dog biscuit over here, human cookie over here. Human cookie,
oh my God.
dog biscuit. He's drooling. Okay.
Ew.
All right, we're gonna let him choose. All right, so dog biscuit, human cookie. Okay.
Okay.
Here, step on me. Here, step on me. Here, it's okay, step on me.
It's too far.
Here, come here. Okay, here he comes. Oh shoot, he's going for the, wait, hold on.
Wait.
We gotta reset.
Wait.
All right, sit. We're gonna try this again, all right?
Wait. Come here.
Okay.
Sit.
Human cookie, dog cookie over here.
Leave it.
Now they're equidistant from him, so he can go for either one he wants. Human cookie, dog cookie, go!
Yay!
Oh.
I win.
Well, he ate both.
But he went for the doggy first.
He's not a sweets guy.
So I just posted the story with the cookie. So I was like, wow, recipe please. So I'll just be like, wait for the video.
So anyway, thanks for watching. The adventures will continue.
Don't forget to like.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think we should try to make next, or mukbang, or give me video ideas, because I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, until the next cookie, let the crumb fall where it may.
Say bye.
Bye.
Panko.
Say bye, Panko.
Did you just sit on our cookies?